Welcome to the Operation Game Night podcast. We're back and better than ever, and joined by a very special guest today, Paul Solomon from GameHead Games. How you doing?
How'd you do?
Paul?
Hello. Happy to be here.
Welcome back to the show.
That's right. Pleasure.
I think you were one of our very first guests that we ever had on the show. We were lucky enough to have you early on, and now almost 2 years later, you're back.
And you were one of my first podcast, guest spots as creative director of GameHead. So I'm excited to be back.
Excellent. Yeah, we're excited to hear about what GameHead has in store for the future. But joining me as always is co-captain of the ship, Clayton Gable. How you doing, Clay?
I'm doing good. Yeah, Paul's come a long way since the last time we talked to him, but we have stayed the same. And I think that's important to know that
Right.
We're still in our humble roots here, but Paul is back and he truly is better than ever. I mean, shout out to his podcast, Decision Space. I know the first time you were on, you told us about that. And ever since then, you guys have been like my podcasting idols. I'm just blown away by what you do.
Clay.
Yeah,
Thank
of
you.
course. Not going to butter you up too much here, but
yeah, we always fanboy.
You become a little more. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's bring us all back to reality and do some recapping of what we've been playing this week. So, Paul, I want you to take it away. What games have you been playing this week?
So I was just at my mom's cottage nearby in Illinois, and a bunch of family is in town, including my cousin's daughter, so sort of my niece, and
Okay.
she has wanted to play a lot of games, and she's playing Clue and other things. But she said, "Have you ever played Ribbidi Flibbity?" And I said, "No, I had never heard of Ribbidi Flibbity." It's made by a company I had not heard of. It's a board game. It is, I will call it the Candyland killer. You should
All right.
never, and anybody that's even thinking about Candyland should just get Ribbidi Flibbity. Basically, everybody has two frogs, and there's this linear path that you're trying to get to the end of. It's a race. If you get to the end first, you get 5 flies. Flies are points. And then 4 and 3 and 2 and 1. And when the last 5 spots fill, the game ends. So it's a race. But along the way, there's a bunch of little flies on certain spaces. So if I can land on that purple space, then I will get a fly along the way. And that's good. The way you move is you just play cards, color cards from your hand, Candyland style. And so when I play a red, I just jump to the next red. But if somebody's already covering that red, then I Ribbidi Flibbity jump over those guys to the next available red. And so you can get these chains of jumping very far up the board, and you get a choice of which 2 you're going to move. So every turn, you have 3 cards in your hand and 2 frogs you can move. So it's a very quick scan of your 6 possible turns. It's not very complicated, but it is not nothing. And I really enjoyed my one play of it, Ribbidi Flibbity. Also, all of the pieces are kind of squishy. They're I don't know what they're made of, but even the little fly tokens are a little bit squishy. So maybe it's sort of a rubber thing, but Ribbidi Flibbity gets a full endorsement from me.
All right.
On the Solomon scale, what are you giving it?
I can't really give it a 3 on the Solomon scale. Famously, a 1, 2, or 3 out of 3. Ribbidi Flibbity, by the way, I don't even believe is on Board Game Geek here as I check this. I have to give it a 2. Which is very reasonable for a game of this weight.
Yeah. Okay. How old's your niece? Did you say?
She is. I think she's about 9. I'm not sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. Well, that sounds like a pleasant time, Paul.
It was good.
Yeah.
It's kind of a little bit of magical athlete going on.
Exactly.
Kind of shenanigans. I like it.
Yeah, just really simple. I mean, it's not roll and move, so it has actual decisions that you're making.
Yeah.
This thing is from Continuum Games. And it's not very expensive on Amazon. It's $16-17. Ribbidi Flibbity.
All right.
Well, anything to kill Candyland's good in my book.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Without the racial undertones. Clayton, what have you been playing this week?
So Paul, was it you on Decision Space that talked with the Happy Camper folks?
Yeah. Jason Schneider.
Okay.
Happy Camper, yeah.
So Happy Camper, after you turned me on to that, again, big listener of Decision Space, but played Jungo Trio, loved those games. Yep. I saw they did a game with Matt Leacock called The 4 Doors.
Oh, yeah.
And so Matt Leacock, the king of co-op here, he's done, your Forbidden Deserts, Islands, Skies, Jungles, all the Forbiddens.
Legacy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Don't forget that one. Pandemic. I mean, all those games. But the Four Doors interested me, one, because it was Happy Camper. I'm a brand loyalist. If I find the company, I'll probably just buy their stuff. And two, it was a small form factor for a co-op game. So it comes in a very small box, not much bigger than Jungo or Trio. And if you've played any of Matt Leacock's other games, it feels very similar. Essentially, you have this tower of cards, and they're stacked one on top of each other. There's 4 doors that are 4 different colors, and then you each have a player. You do 3 actions on the turn. Each player has their own special ability. They will seem very familiar to people who have played other Matt Leacock games. One of your special abilities might be do 4 actions on your turn instead of 3. Another might let you move to a location as if it were 1 move anywhere on the board. But yeah, so you're essentially trying to collect sets of these different colored cards. So if I get 4 red cards, I go to the red door. I can turn in my 4 red cards, and I collect a relic at the red door. You have to collect a relic at each of the 4 colored doors, and then all your pawns go to the top of the tower and light the beacon with a luminous flux spell. And throughout the game, I think one of the neat features of this is that your player cards and the bad cards, if you will, the shadow cards, are all the same. So they make good use out of this single deck of cards. So you have this deck, and when it's the shadow turn, the deck flips cards out, and if it's a purple card, it goes to the purple door, and each purple card can either go to the right or left side of the door. And when 3 cards get on the right or left side, if a 4th card would come up, that door starts to close, and you start to lose your chance to get the relic in that door. If another purple comes up, then that door closes for good, and if you haven't had the relic yet, you're done for. So that's essentially what you're doing. And those cards are also in your hand too. And so some of the things you can do are, they'll have a little lantern in the top left, which will let you illuminate different doors, which is how you get rid of the shadow threats that are popping up at the doors. So kind of buying you time. There's some, special spells on them that let you dig through the discard pile or hand off cards to other players. Again, nothing that breaks the mold entirely of your typical Matt Leacock co-op, but I did like it. I've played it a couple times with my kids. They enjoyed it. It's 30 minutes, small form factor. I think it's a nice game.
Yeah, I haven't played this one, but I tend to like the smaller versions of games like this. I really like Forbidden Island for its simplicity. I like that more than Pandemic. Pandemic Hot Zone, I think, is really good. I like the smaller Ticket to Rides as well. So 4 Doors, I probably like it.
Yeah, give it a go. I look forward to hearing about it in your co-op episode.
Mm-hmm.
I think Forbidden Desert was the first game I ever bought that I had to get rid of because it was just so worn down. That got so many plays that the little tiles, you could tell which ones had the X's and stuff underneath them because they're always being handled and touched and fraying at the corners. Man, those Forbidden games are so much fun.
Yeah. Actually, I designed a game in the Forbidden series just on my own because I had hoped to pitch it to GameRight because I thought maybe they were done. Maybe Matt wasn't working on it anymore. Long story short, it didn't go anywhere. But here in my house, I have a finished prototype of Forbidden Jungle game before Forbidden Jungle was announced. And it's it's kind of fun. The core evil, each of them has a danger that you have to do. And then this one, it was vines that grow in between the tiles and block you off. And then if they surround a tile, it becomes really blocked off and you have to go stop it and run out of tokens and stuff. But
that's cool.
Yeah. Matt was already doing other things, so he didn't need me.
Oh, come on, Matt. Everybody needs Paul.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Forbidden Jungle ended up being kind of like a weird mini nemesis with the Leacockian special abilities.
That's right.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. And the aliens grow as they get bit, as they go along. And
it was sort of originally he told me it was going to be like a space station. So it was Forbidden Station, and I guess those were robots that were going to be attacking you. But he, we had our meeting, and whether it was my doing or not, he did change it to Forbidden Jungle.
Wow.
I think you had a lot to do with that.
Cut the check. Come on.
Mm-hmm.
Have you, speaking of liking the smaller version of games, have you played the Fate of the Fellowship the opposite
I
of a
have
smaller
not.
variant.
No,
Okay.
I hear that's hugely popular. I haven't played almost any of the bigger ones, like the Rising Tide one that's in the Netherlands, or the Rome one. But Fate of the Fellowship, people say that's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely on the bigger side of things. So
Yeah.
it might be straying from your wheelhouse more than
We'll
you'd
see.
like. But
I should
thought
try.
I thought it was cool for the theme and what it was doing. But yes, I'm definitely more in the Four Doors camp myself. Travis, you been playing anything, man?
I have. I played Gruntz, which is Allplay's new 2-player kind of skirmish rock, paper, scissors combat game. It's super simple, plays in like 15 minutes. You have one of those cloth mats that they've been kind of going to at Allplay that sits in front of you. And then on the mat is a 7 by 5 grid. So you have 35 spaces. The row that's closest to you on your mat is your like back line, and you are deploying troops, tanks, trucks, and aircraft that are going to try and capture control points that are out in the middle of this map, kind of in no man's land. And on your turn, you take 2 and 1 actions. So either you place 2 troops and you move 1, or you place 1 troop, move twice. And you can move the same, troop or asset twice if you want to. And it's kind of this big like web of rock, paper, scissors, where every asset is good against 2 other things, but weak against 1 thing. So you have let's say your Gruntz, the titular character of the game. Those can attack trucks and other infantry units, the Grunts. But are susceptible to the fighters that are flying overhead and the tanks that are on the battlefield. The Grunts will move either orthogonally or diagonally. But if you have a captain out there, which is controls the same as a Grunt, when you move the captain in a direction, all the Grunts can move in that exact same direction at the same time.
That's
so
cool.
Kind of timing when you want to use that ability to move your troops forward to control those points is key. The cool thing about this is that there are modular pieces. So let's say I have a tank. The tank comes in like this little square, and it's got magnets on top. And that tank, I can either make a troop tank, and it puts a little turret on top, or I can make it a anti-aircraft gun. So it has this little kind of barrage-looking thing that sits on top. And so as the aircraft fly overhead on these kind of diagonal lines that are predetermined, these paths that are set, that anti-aircraft gun can shoot down the aircraft overhead. And the goal of the game is to control these points at the the control points in the middle of the map at the end of your turn. And if you control 2 of them at the end of your turn, you score 1 point. If you control all 3 at the end of your turn, you score 2 points. The game is played to 3 points. However, if you can get your captain, the Grunt character, all the way to the enemy's headquarters on their back line, you automatically win the whole game, because it is very difficult to do. And there's a lot going on and a lot to think about to maneuver your pieces through this battlefield to get the captain all the way to the other side. So I think it's pretty cool. The trucks can like carry your troops, and they move 2 spaces instead of 1. So you can jump ahead a little bit. You can move somebody all the way across if you can get there. Basically, if one of your troops runs into another asset that can be attacked, it will automatically destroy it. Everything has 1 health. It just kind of goes off the board. Tanks, trucks, and aircraft only appear on the board once. And when they're killed, they're effectively out of the game. Grunts can be recycled. Captains are also one-time use, I think. So, yeah, I think it's pretty cool. It plays in like 15 minutes. It's a cool, like almost checkers style rock, paper, scissors combat. Some of that stuff is a little tough to keep track of in your head. There's not that many assets, but like you kind of forget like, oh, this tank is now a aircraft, anti-aircraft gun versus the troop tank. So yeah, I think it's cool. It's another one of those all-play small box games that I'll probably keep around for a while. Like it reminds me a lot of that General Orders World War II that came out like, I don't know, probably 8 years ago now. But that one was maybe not that long ago. It was probably like 4 years ago. But that one was really cool. It's kind of the same concept. You're like deploying assets and cargo and troops and stuff, and you can airdrop people behind enemy lines, and like that one's a little more in depth. This one's much more simplified. But yeah, I think it's great. I like this. I'm gonna keep it.
It sounds really cool. I like it's sort of a little very simple units, troops on a map, miniatures skirmish game, but really clean kind of rules. Like I like that you don't have cards that you're playing to do this and that. It's just 1 and 2 or 2 and 1, and just the little twist you described of move the captain and everybody can move with you. I think that alone's a pretty cool little twist.
Yeah, and it's really interesting to watch things be pre-positioned, because like the aircraft fly along these predetermined paths, either to your back line or off to the sides. And so if you are moving into one of these like kind of strafing runs, that fighter aircraft might come over the top and take you out. Or if you have a bomber, that bomber might fly over the top of your truck and take it out. And so positioning and timing those moves accordingly to capture those control points there's some thinking involved for sure.
Yeah.
Dang, I did not realize you were talking about this the whole time, and I went to it and I was expecting the mid-range, the normal all play box.
Yeah,
I did not think it was going to be in one of the small boxes.
Yeah.
So I'm even more impressed now, but I will say I hate the cloth mat. I am I just was so upset with all plays. I love all play, but the golden goal, like I couldn't even barely play it. It was just that little soccer game. And everything just kept falling over on this little cloth mat. And I was like, come on. Paul, do you do cloth mats? What's your take on those?
I have not done a cloth mat yet, and I don't even think I've owned a game with a cloth mat. And I try to fit a lot in these little boxes. So like Friendly Fishing has a pretty gigantic board. Cloth's tough. Yeah.
I wonder if the move is to like iron these things, like pull it out and like
maybe iron it and then starch it, and then you can turn it into like a fold up piece of cardboard.
The upgraded components on this one are super nice, like big chunky wood pieces with the magnets on top, and it even comes with like metallic stars that are your victory points. Completely unnecessary to the playment of the game, but it adds to my enjoyment at least, because I like a good upgraded component.
So are the standard components punchboard, or are they wood, or they don't have the magnets, or what?
A lot of them are. I think the base one comes with the magnetic tanks and stuff, because you have to be able to swap that out. But I think that the grunts themselves and the victory point stars are punchboard.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean the upgraded components are nice, but I don't think they're necessary.
No. Punchboard on cloth is criminal. Okay, I love Gazebo. It was my up to this point has been my favorite game of 2026 so far. But it was unplayable for me with the cardboard pieces. I needed the upgraded like domino feeling tiles to actually play that game. They don't push down the cloth, and it just is disgusting. I could go on and on. I just
okay. I take it back. The aircraft and the victory points are the punchboard ones.
Okay,
but in the upgraded one, you get actual wooden aircraft and metallic victory points.
Wow, cool.
Yeah, it's nice. Are we ready to talk about GameHead? Let's jump right in and go to our main objective, which is talking about GameHead Wave 2. So, Paul, why don't you start us off and tell us, coming out of Wave 1, you saw a lot of success. I feel like I saw GameHead Games everywhere. What have we learned from Wave 1 that we are now taking into Wave 2?
Yeah, so Wave 1, we launched basically a year ago from here. It was 6 games, Foolish Fool, Venture Angels, First Class Letters, Trinket Trove, No Loose Ends, and did I already say Venture Angels?
Yes.
One more? I don't know. Probably
Corgi Pileup.
Thank you, Corgi Pileup. And we did party games and thinky games and casual games. And our bestseller by far has been Trinket Trove. I think we just sold 10,000 total. And then we just got international orders. So those things are starting to happen. And second to that is Corgi Pileup. And so I think the big lesson is, which I sort of already knew, is that you have to have unbelievable art. It's the only thing that can put a game in someone's hand off a shelf is the theme and the title and the art. And then we also had a huge success with No Loose Ends, which is one of the greatest trick-taking games of all time. But what we don't know yet is like if that's going to hold year over year over year, because the people that want an amazing trick-taking game also want the game that comes out after it. And so, you know, with limited shelf space, it's hard to see like what things will continue. But for the next wave, we're doing 5 this time, and probably going to chop up into like smaller amounts of games more times a year. We're not quite sure yet, but similar types of stuff. So I'll give it just a quick overview of what we did. We did have, I think Foolish Fool is a party game for us from Wave 1 that can be really successful, but has not really found its crowd yet. It's because it's really immediately accessible. There's basically no rules, and you flip a card, read it, and the rules get introduced as you play. So you can learn it in 15 seconds. And the game I'm about to show you is that same way, and I think this is going to be our most successful from this wave. This is Size-Wise from Scott Brady of Hughes and Hughes and Boop. And it's a really simple game about estimating the sizes of things. Everybody gets these strings, and you are asked what's the size of a unicorn's horn, and you stretch it to give your answer, and you just want to be in the middle. So if your answer is too extreme, too short, or too long, you lose one of your wisdom tokens. You know, and as far as art, we tried to give it this sort of Schoolhouse Rock inspired look, and a owl here who is again sort of inspired but distinct from the Tootsie Roll Pop, the Tootsie Pop owl. So that one's it's amazing, and I played it with my family. A lot of them don't like to play games, and that was a big hit. The other one in the sort of amazing art category is Friendly Fishing from Alex Randolph and Bruno Faiduti, who did Venture Angels. This one has art from Alicia Giroux and a good, unique hook. This is a re-implementation of Tonari from same designers, basically. That came out with different sort of darker art from Quanche Moria, and I had it and really liked it. And so when we got a chance, it was like, let's do it. And you know, it's gorgeous. And the hook here is basically you just move. There's a grid here of all these fish, and you move and catch a fish and move and catch a fish, and players just take turns very simply moving and collecting fish. So whips around the table. But at the end of the game, I score my tokens and I score the tokens of the person to my left. And so rather than trying to move the boat in a defensive way and prevent them from getting things, I always want to set them up for a good turn. Every point they score is a point that I score. And then when they move, they want their left buddy to catch something nice too. So it's sort of a semi-cooperative thing where I care about the person on my left, but they don't care at all about me.
That's cool.
That's in our casual line. Pet Quartet, also really good art. This one from designed by Robert Brower, and then art from Bianca Papalardo, who is an amazing artist. I don't think she's worked on games before, but she's from Argentina, and she did 88 uniquely illustrated cards here. This is a lot like Coloretto.
Okay.
But it has a triangular deck like Flip 7, where there's 3 3s and 4 4s and 7 7s. And for each number, you want 1 of them or 4 of them. So of the 6 6s, you want to have 4 of them or just 1. And so that may be a little hard depending on how many of them people already have and how many you have and where you are in the game. But it has all the different cards are uniquely illustrated and have funny, punny names like this is my dog Bernie, and his character is called Prince. And this is Sonny Paulins, and this guy is Axel Rose, our pink axolotl. And right. Axel Rose will be one of our Gen Con exclusive pins for GameHead.
Awesome.
Okay.
2 more, and then we'll sort of dig deeper if we want. We've got Wild Magic, which is our Knizia design. First time I've worked with the great Dr. Knizia. And this one is a rework of Vampire from the year 2000. It has amazing art by Jackie Davis. And it's a set collection card game where you're trying to collect cards of the same color. And when you play them down, you get powerful effects from the Guardian tokens, but you don't want to have the weakest of that color, because at the end of the game, whoever has the weakest of that thing discards it and scores nothing. So it's really interactive as you play, the way you're looking at what other people are doing, and you're playing cards into a shared space where other people might take them. So Pet Quartet and Wild Magic actually share a lot of DNA, but the first one I want to actually dig into here is Trick to the Future from Taiki Shinzawa, because I talked about No Loose Ends being an amazing trick-taking game, and this is my favorite trick-taking game.
I'm so excited for this one.
Wow.
You
this
kind of gave us a hint at this one when you came on the first time. I'm so excited for this.
Oh yeah, so this thing is it's truly incredible, and I will show you. We have art by George Bletzis here. You can tell from the title and the theme, it's sort of inspired again by Back to the Future. But this is not a DeLorean. This is like a Town and Country. And on the side here, Buick Town and Country, it doesn't say Buick, it says Trick. And let's see what we got. Here's the inside of our car. And we did a lot of like, okay, this is the actual dashboard from something. And we've chosen some select dates here. And you can see like, this is like the fuel gauge that this Town and Country would use to time travel. So our point chips are different clocks from different times. We have the 1980s clocks and sand timers, and then sort of the infinity. And every player gets these dual layer player boards that show their temporal transistor, which they're going to use they're going to fuel it up with these rods, these Catan Road style rods, like you saw in the picture. And we're going to play a trick-taking game, must-follow trick-taking game. The 4 suits are past, which is actually the yellow gear one, sort of Victorian style. Okay. Present, just got this wooden VHS look. Future, which is sort of futuristic. And then Beyond, which has a sort of purplish, where are they? A purplish sort of, well, you can imagine what Beyond might be. Almost space-ish looking, but out of time. And so play must follow trick-taking. I lead with 3 of the future. You have to play future, but the big hook of this game is, of course, that you can time travel. So when you play this 0, you can take one of those white fuel rods and put it right across the center here, and now it's an 8. And so you have this built-in agency, this power. You're not just forced to play your hand as the cards that they are. You can change the numbers by spending fuel. And in fact, the cards all have on the side of them, find a good example, on the side of them have little numbers that, will that work? That tell you what you can turn it into.
Oh yeah,
so that's cool. That's good.
That's useful. And that was an upgrade from the original game. You also have the 6. The 6 is cool because the 6, if you look on the side, what does it say there? 8 and 9. Well, to turn it into a 9, you just flip it over. And then it says 8 and 6 over there. So cards can be played both ways. So you could say the deck is 0 to 8, but actually the 6 is a 9. So that's already kind of
man.
But the biggest twist here maybe is that your leftover fuel rods are your bid. And what that means is like every time you win a trick, that's a successful time jump, right? But when the round is over, you need to jump back to your home time where you came from. And so if I win 3 tricks, but I only have 2 remaining fuel rods, I can't make it home and I'm lost in time. So you can spend fuel to like win tricks, but if you spend too much, you'll be lost in time. So if you have basically more sticks left than tricks you won, you score some points. 2 points per trick and a point per stick that you collected, because you get the sticks that people put on their cards. So 2 per trick, 1 per stick if you have like more, an excess of fuel. But if you get it exactly right and you do a perfect journey where like you won 2 tricks and you have 2 leftover sticks, you score double points. And so you're encouraged to like push yourself right to the edge to score maximum points. But if you go over, then you get nothing. So it has a sort of bidding feel, but you don't have to look at your hand and bid at the beginning of the round. It's like it progresses. Another way to say it is that like you can reduce your bid to spend these fuel rods.
Okay.
So it's a really cool thing. Again, Taiki Shinzawa is the designer, the master of trick-taking games. That one has been talked about a lot. I know this is Mike Delicio's favorite trick-taking game of all time, a guy who's played a lot of them and has started showing up on a lot of these Gen Con lists. So I'm really excited about that one.
Well, we just did a ranking of 35, Clay? So 35 different games.
Certainly
35
not.
different trick takers.
Yeah.
And No Loose Ends was up
It was
there.
3. I think it was
up?
3.
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
It
yeah,
was
I
3
think
for me.
for anybody that likes No Loose Ends, this is like a no-brainer. It's the same designer. And as I said, I think it's better. And like some of these other games, it has an immediately obvious hook where the first time you put a stick on a card, it just like feels amazing. And the more you hear about the details, the more that it catches you. There's also nil bidding, where if you want, and again, you don't have to announce this at the start of the round, you can try to win no tricks, and then you score 3 points per empty space on your fuel gauge. And so it's almost like thematically you've been selling the fuel to other people, and they're traveling. And so if I sell you a fuel rod, in other words, you win it in a trick, that's probably a point for you. Maybe it's 2, but I gain 3 points for having that empty space.
So
shoot, cool.
I missed that.
Yeah.
If you win a trick,
exactly,
you get the rods that people used. Okay,
right. And so you can have a place where maybe people are just trying to lower their bid to get down. They don't think they're going to win stuff. They put some fuel rods down, then the next person does, and then I come in and win it. And so maybe I only win one trick in the round, but if I'm able to collect 5 fuel rods, now that's 7 points. And if I do a perfect journey, now it's 14 points. And that could be really good. And then, yes, if I go nil and win no tricks, I can get up to 18 points that way. Just a really fun part of the game.
How many points do you play to?
You play 3 rounds typically,
okay.
But you can do a round per player, so everybody gets a chance to deal. There's a lot of different ways you can do it. So that's that one. Let's
Real
dig
quick.
into.
Sorry, I got one.
Yeah,
more
go ahead.
question
No, totally, please.
Sorry, Paul. I'll let you get back on it.
No, I want all the questions.
So, understood that you get the sticks from any trick you win.
Right.
Do they go back into your fuel cell that you can use that round, or they just count towards scoring?
They've been spent. So you have kind of unspent fuel rods on your temporal transistor player board that you're ready to spend. But once they're used on a card, they're just collected and set aside. So that's the original game didn't have player boards. And that's the reason that I added them, was players would often confuse their unspent rods with the collected rods. And so the original games just had like your unspent ones sit on the table, and the ones you collect sit on top of the tricks. But you can nudge those and all kinds of stuff. So we came up with the idea thematically for this to represent how much fuel you had on this gauge, and then also made it dual layered so that they would stay aligned and not look horrible for folks like me that would hate that.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. Thank you. You can carry on.
No, my pleasure. And ask all the questions.
Yeah.
So Pet Quartet was the next one I wanted to talk about. Have you guys played Coloretto?
Yeah. Love Coloretto.
Yeah. So Coloretto for me is really awesome. And I think a great example of just like a simple system that you can get really cool emergent play from, especially from the way that you're like looking at what other people have and what they want, right? So it's this passive interactivity where we all interact with a center board, but other people feel the impact. So in the game, there are little conductor tokens, and we've got different screen printed meeples of different goofy conductors, and they're going to be auditioning musical pets to possibly adopt. And so those go out in the middle of the table, 1 per player. And then the cards look like this. So here's one of the 10 singers, and you can see that is Blue Jay Z. And they all have really good punny names like Katy Parrot.
Yes.
Let's see, we got Justin Beakbird, we have Burb Dylan. So all the 10s are singing birds. And again, there's 10 of them. Wing Newton, Birdie Flylish. The 3s are all like snakes playing funny things like weird percussion instruments. That's Coral King. Rick Astley is in here somewhere. Lots of fun ones. So the way you play, though, is on your turn, you either draw a card and add it to the center of the table, or you end the round by taking cards from the center. So that part is exactly like Coloretto. And the piles in the center can have up to 4 cards. But again, you're putting these things together. My camera's out. You're putting these things together so that someone will have to take both of them. And the hook, again, is that you want to have exactly 4 or exactly 1 of these cards. So when there's 13 13s, for example, it is going to be very hard to have just a single one. And if you go for the 4 too early, then you're probably going to get your 5th and score no points. And if you get to 8, still no points. So it's very much about like, okay, what's left in the deck? How many have I seen so far? Who still wants 4? Who doesn't want 4? And for fans of Coloretto, it's just like an obvious yes. It's just immediately fun and good. And I think more interactive in what it is, because in Coloretto, for the things you're collecting, you always want more, pretty much, unless you're playing like variant scoring. But here, everybody has kind of like, they want the exact amount, and the quantity of the cards is maybe more or less. So it has some little tweaks that are different. There's also a little 2-player mode in here, and then Maestro tiles, which are not in Coloretto. Those, you put them in front of a conductor token, and then they change the rules for that conductor. So,
oh, cool.
One might say draw a card. So if I take the cards from in front of that conductor, I have to draw a card from the deck and keep it. Or one might say max 2 cards. So it can only have 2 cards there. One might say pass a card to the left. And so that can be really devastating for the person on your left, really good for you if you get rid of something, or maybe you have to discard a card, which could be good or bad. So that's fun. And the last thing I'll say about it is there's an advanced scoring mode where if you have a quartet, it's 4 points. But if you have a soloist, they score their full value. So a soloist of 1 is going to be, a soloist of the 3 is going to be pretty easy, and that's 3 points.
Yeah.
But if you have a soloist of the 13, it's 13 points, but probably you're going to end up with a second 13, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool.
What's the soloist score normally without that?
Everything is 1 point normally.
Okay.
So it's just how many do you have? How many successful animal types do you have? And then they will score their points.
And the success is either getting 1 or 4.
1 or 4. Exactly right. Exactly.
Oh man, I like that scoring. Like you said, that's so much more interesting than just getting more is better. Because you have that worry about, okay, am I going to bust this and go get too many?
Yeah.
What did you call this type of deck?
This one's a triangle deck.
A triangle deck. Okay.
Yeah. Some people call it a pairs deck because there's a game called Pairs that has like many games that come out of this style deck. A lot of people at this point would call it a Flip 7 deck, which Flip 7 is good enough to deserve that.
Yeah, it's certainly been pretty popular, but
extremely.
That Quartet sounds great.
Yeah.
And what a interesting way to, add some replay value by introducing the Maestro deck. And I love when games can pare down to a specific play point or number of players. And so the 2-player edition is excellent. That's right up my alley.
The key of the 2-player thing, if you've ever played Coloretto 2-player, it's similar, but it basically simulates a 3rd player without having a 3rd player. Like they don't take any turns, but there's 3 piles. And so if you're playing with 2 players and just 2 piles, then out of the 8 8s, we're either going to both get 4 and score, or neither of us is going to get 4 and we're not going to score. Like maybe it's 1 and I score and you have 7, and but probably not. That's not very interesting. So when you play 2 players and there's 3 piles, then some of the cards no one gets, and that's really important in sort of counting the game.
And those are not revealed to the other players, correct?
Everything's revealed when they're played face up.
Oh, okay.
So it's just like on my turn, I can put it on the left or the center or the right. There's a pile that can have 2 cards, a pile that can have 3 cards, or a pile that can have 4 cards, and I put it down. The next person goes. But when I take a pile, I'm out of the round, and when you take a pile, you're out of the round, and whatever cards are in the last pile are discarded from the game.
Okay.
So some things, like out of those 8 8s, maybe only 6 of them will be taken by players.
Okay. I like it.
Cool. All right, well, let's look at Friendly Fishing, eh?
Yes, please.
Beautiful art by Alicia Giroux. She is, I've learned, such a talented artist, and I have a sneak peek at a game here that she's working on for us as well. So this one, again, it's a friendly day out on the pond together. This is our 6-fold board. It's obviously big and it fits in our box somehow. There's the smaller size, which is the original size from Tonari, and then a bigger size, which lets you play with 5 players, which the original game didn't have.
Glad it's not a cloth.
That's not cloth. That is wrapped edge punch board. It's high quality and good. And there are just a ton of these awesome fish tokens that you populate the board with. There's simple ones, common ones that are red, yellow, blue, green. The oranges are a majority. And then there are special extra tokens like the kingfish. You can kind of see the kingfish have gold foil on them. There's also shiners, which have like a glitter foil on them, and they're all spot UV. And then we have this awesome screen printed boat token. Everybody's in the boat. So we're all in this boat on the board, and you just move and take a fish token, move, take a fish token, etc. And everything scores different ways. Like these ones are just your standard triangular. My camera's really struggling to focus. Standard triangular. Majorities for that one, but the special ones do some special things like this one, which I think is shiners. The first one you get is distracting, let's say. So you actually lose points for it. But then the next one is worth a bunch of points. And if you get all three, it's a lot of points. And of course, if Travis is going before me and I'm going to score, he's going to score my points too. He's going to try to set me up to get more shiners, right? Yeah. The junk is -3 points. So I'm kind of hoping to set my buddy up to miss one so that his buddy gets one. The dinkers are cool because they're a few points, but they're so small you could just throw it back if you want. So you can move one step and then say, nah, and then take another turn, which helps keep the board sort of connected. The lunkers is like one big prize fish that's hard to hold on to. So only the last player to catch a lunker gets the 5 points. So if I have one in front of me and Clay catches one, then I discard mine. But then if Travis catches the last one, Clay discards his too. The skipjack, basically, you're able to like skip through water to get it. That's the only way to collect them. And basically this board is getting chopped up, sort of like, hey, that's my fish in a way. It's getting broken up and you can only move one space onto a fish. So it becomes harder and harder to move. And these skipjacks keep things connected a bit more. And then the last one is those kingfish I showed you, and they are worth no points. But if you get all three, you just win immediately on your own. And in a 4+ player game, you only need 2 of them. So that's friendly fishing.
If the person to your left gets all 3 kingfish, do you share a victory?
You sure don't.
Oh,
you sure don't.
Just for points.
That's right. Because it'd be probably pretty easy at that point. Yeah.
This has been all over Instagram. I've been seeing this one out there like crazy.
Yep. This one has been on a bunch of lists. And it's so beautiful that you want to check it out. And then the gameplay is engaging and unique enough that, you know, you keep pulling it out and showing it to people.
Yeah, no, it's so simple too. That's key.
One of the things I'm always asking designers when they pitch to me is like, what are the hooks of the game? And then what are people going to tell their friends about the game? Because, you know, when I come to game night and I say, oh, you guys have to try this because it has whatever. And I need to be able to say what that thing is, you know, and that can be hard to do sometimes. So with this one, you go like, okay, so it has amazing art and I'm going to score my points and your points. And they go like, oh, that's different. I haven't heard that. Like, you can tell people more things about that. All right, well, let's look at size-wise, which, well, it takes about 3 seconds to teach, so there's not a ton to say here. But what's the size of a bowling pin? What's the size of a mermaid's fin? Let's find out. So everybody gets these strings. There's 8 of them. They have a ring and the bead, and you slide it like this. So when they say, what's the size of a bowling pin? You know, I might go, okay, it's like that. And everybody does that without being seen by other players. And you put the rings on this wooden thing. I sometimes say put the ring on the thing. And then you hang and compare. And, okay, this person thought a bowling pin they thought it was very small, let's be honest. And so everybody has a bunch of wisdom tokens, which are just little tokens with an owl on it and a question mark, and whoever is the shortest and the longest loses one of those. And then you just dump these out on the table and you go again and you go till someone loses their very last bit of wisdom. And then the wisest player wins. People with the most points left wins the game. And the cards are like this. So sort of just one style looking card. I can't read it backwards and it's upside down for you. What's the size of a pickle? What's the size of a mermaid's fin? What's the size of a wig or a magic wand? And so one of the things that's important for people in our hobby is to know that this isn't a trivia game, and it's not about knowing the right size. This is about knowing what your friends will think. And that's why I wanted to put in things like what's the size of a wizard's beard or a magic scroll or an elven dagger, etc. And then we use a really simple system where the top of the deck looks like this, and you flip a card over, and then this tells you which one to use. So you don't have to choose. We know that this time we're using high heels. And when I played it with my 5.5-year-old nephew, as well as my, I don't know how old she is. Don't listen, Aunt Lisa. She's probably 75 or so. Like maybe she's younger. And we all had fun. So that's one, again, it's like, that's been on a lot of lists, and it's the kind of thing that nobody owns a game like it. And so I think every gamer will want to have that and can teach it to anyone in 3 seconds and play it and have just a ton of fun.
That's awesome. That's got such a good hook. And I think it's going to be wildly popular.
That is the hope. You got to sell games for a long time to make it worth it. Yeah. And hopefully that one does it for us.
That's the evergreen right here.
Let's hope.
I feel it.
If we can keep, one evergreen per wave, I think we'll come out ahead for a nice long time.
Yeah.
So Wild Magic comes with this lovely fold-out wrapped edge board. And this is just basically in the middle of the table, you're going to put cards underneath these. These are the sort of 6 types of elemental magic. You have I can't always remember. Let's see. Shadowcraft, lava flow, flame work, alchemy, cultivation, and water form. Okay. And you can see at the bottom that there's different rarities. So there's not as much Shadowcraft as there is water form. Okay. And the cards are just basically those elemental resources in the different colors. So, water form cards, alchemy, and Shadowcraft. And for each one, there's a double strength one and a single strength one. And so you'll have, can I find a good example here? You'll have like one piece of art for that guy and then a strong piece of art for the other one. And on your turn, you're going to have a hand of cards, and you either, this will sound a little familiar, draw cards or take cards from the middle. So it's similar to a Pet Quartet style thing, or Herbaceous might be a slightly better example. So you are going to draw 2 cards from the deck and discard one to the middle into its pile. So there's no choice where you put it. It's just reds go with reds and purples go with purples.
Okay.
Or if you want, you can draw 2 cards and play a meld. And a meld is just a set of cards that's at least 3 cards, all the same color. And of course, if you have a wild magic, it can count as any color. And that will be your points for that color. So every icon is 1 point.
Okay.
And you want a lot of points because at the end of the round, obviously you win, but at the end of the game, whoever has the weakest of each color discards them. So, and I don't get to add to that. So if I meld 3 green, then okay, I melded green. That's good. Maybe it's 3 points, but everybody can see where I put my flag in the ground. And if they can get ahead of me, then I'm not getting those 3 points. I cannot add to that later. I can remeld green, but I would discard what's already there.
Dang.
So,
okay.
Yeah. So option 1, draw 2 cards, discard 1. Option 2, draw 2 cards and go ahead and meld all from your hand. Or option 3, take an entire pile of cards from the middle. So take like all the blue cards out of the middle. But if you do that, you have to play a meld. And so, it's sort of locking you down time-wise in terms of like, well, there's so many good blues there, but if I meld blue, it's not going to be that much. I don't have that much blues in my hand. But then again, only one more person cares about blue because other people have already melded it. They're not going to take the blue. So maybe I can wait a little longer. And like Pet Quartet, it's a lot of looking around at what people have. It also comes with these screen printed tokens for the power tokens. And when you meld, if you have the strongest meld of that color, you claim the power token, which is like a couple bonus points. So that's another thing players are trying to vie for.
So it's kind of giving me First Giants vibes too.
Exactly. Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yep. And Ethnos has a little mechanism like that. And then the last thing that is added to this game from Vampire is these Guardian tokens. And the Guardian tokens will give you different effects that will trigger on those elements. So like this guy might sit above the blue. And when you meld blue, you just get to take another turn. And this one might, let you draw 2 cards from the deck or take 2 cards from the face-up pools. There's 12 of these things, so there's a lot. But they're also double-sided. So the one that lets you draw 2 cards, if you decide to play it with its dark side instead, you have to pass 2 cards to the player on your right. So it becomes like a detriment instead of a benefit. And what that means is that people will not want to meld this color, and so more and more cards will pile up in the middle, and so it gives a different sort of texture to the game where that's there. One of my favorite ones is Solari. Solari lets you perform the action of a different Guardian, so it's sort of wild, and then it flips over, and then the next time it's melded, it swaps places with something, and so you can put things into locations to sort of meld them next time. There's also one that makes the power token worth extra points or maybe negative points. And you can move that around possibly to change which power token's going to score. So that gives a lot of, like the Maestro tiles, but probably stronger influence on the game, what kind of different vibe each gameplay is going to have.
That's awesome. One of my favorite games to play with my wife is called like Spirits of the Wild.
Oh, yeah.
And it's kind of that not Mancala, but like set collection with the stones in the cup. And in the recent reprint, they like quadrupled the number of spirits that are in
Spirits
the game.
of the Wild.
Spirits of the Wild. There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that too.
I love that kind of changing powers and that like affect your decisions. Man, that's awesome.
Yeah, that one's really fun.
Like
and again, like all these games, it has awesome art. So that's the stuff that we'll have at the booth in addition to our other stuff. And I should say that I have them. Do I have them? Do I bring them? Yeah, we have also some promos that people, if they're going to be at Gen Con, can check out. We have free promo for people that bought Trinket Trove before or buy it at the place, and that is Willie. Which is Steamboat Willie.
Awesome.
Inspired, or actually he could be Steamboat Willie because Steamboat Willie is in the public domain.
Yep.
All the characters, of course, are merely inspired by other characters. We have Stilton, who is like Roquefort from the Aristocats, and also has the hat of like the Great Mouse Detective. We have Bianca from the Rescuers would be her inspiration, and Bernard is in the original game, so they kind of get to go together. We have Cosgrove the Mole, inspired by Mr. Mole from The Wind of the Willows, and also, Mr. Toad's Wild Ride, let's say. Thimble is inspired by this is Thumble, inspired by Thimble from the Legends and Lattes book. And then my favorite is Philly, inspired by Fievel Mouskowitz from An American Tale.
Excellent.
Holy cow, I have not been brushing up on my mouse literature enough.
You don't know the mouse?
I did not know I did not know a lot of those.
Oh man.
I think I knew Steamboat Willie, but
well, we have another 6 in waiting for a wave 2 of these things. So all these we're giving out Steamboat Willie for free pretty much, but the other ones are $2 each, 10 for the set. And then the last one is an additional set of tokens for Corky Pileup. This thing's $3, but it just lets you play with 10 players right out of the box, or just more pretty colors. So that's what'll be there. But I have one more thing to tease with you guys here. Give you a little scoop. So this is a game. I believe we're going to have this at PAX this year, because it's not enough to come out with 5 games in a year. You got to do a couple more at least. And there's some point tokens here, which are little wheels, but it's, of course, just prototype stuff. And this is a game by Taylor Reiner, who is a developer on the Fellowship trick-taking game and designed Sears Catalog. And I'm trying to think of what he's best known for otherwise.
Mori too as a developer, right?
Yes, he does. He does a lot of those games, and he developed Lobby Snacks with me, which is a trick-taking game coming out from 20th Century.
Nice.
So he's like Mr. Trick-taking, you could say. And this is a game he designed. It is called Pit Stop Rally, and it was originally called Best at Another Time. It was about bats talking about movies. It had kind of a funky Taylor-esque theme, but this one you'll recognize some of the inspirations. It is a race. There's a guy, sort of a coyote-looking guy, strapping rockets to his car, and we have a squirrel here with his acorn car. It's a little bit Looney Tunes inspired, a little bit Wacky Racers.
Yeah.
We have in addition to Mr. Squirrel, we have a turtle on the tractor.
Excellent.
Getting pretty good speed down the road. We have the octopus in the submarine cruising pretty good.
That's cool.
And the last one is our sort of Diddy Kong inspired monkey on the banana with the coconut wheels. So this is a pretty simple standard climbing shedding game where I play either a single card or like a set of the equal cards or a suited run of cards. So maybe I play 2-3 of the same color. Then Travis has to play a suited run of 2 cards that is higher than 2-3. So maybe he plays 5-6, and then it comes to Clay, and then he plays a 8-9, and it comes back to me, and I pass because I can't play anymore. Or maybe I just don't want to play. And this is very common for how these things go, right? And then you just are trying to stay in the round so you can keep playing cards. But what Taylor did, and what he did with his other game, Sears Catalog, is he says, let me take the painful part of one of these climbing shedding games and let me make it good. Mm-hmm. So usually passing sucks because now you can't play, and you're sort of like, shedding games are races where you're trying to race towards getting all your cards, and now you're just sitting behind. So instead, let's make it a pit stop, which is good. It might actually let you catch up. So these tiles will go into the middle of the table. Let me find some good ones. They'll go into the middle of the table, and when you pass, you choose one. And so you can take this tile, and now you're going to lead the next trick, you would call it. But when everybody has passed, you're going to be able to start the next one, which means you're going to decide if we're playing threes of a kind or playing singles or whatever. Or you can take a wild card, which obviously you'll be able to play as anything you want. The wilds look like this, which is why Mr. Wild Coyote here was trying to strap a rocket onto his car. So when you pass, you're taking a break, but you might be fueling up your car to do really well. There's also another type of wild you can play with, which are zeros, and zeros kind of beat the best card in the game. So let's say that we're playing and the highest card's a 17. If Travis plays something that, like, maybe he plays a pair of 17s, I can play a pair of zeros to sort of start everything back down. And one of the things in this game is that a lot of shedding games, when everybody passes except one player, it stops and you start over, Okay. But this is like a race. And so if everybody takes a pit stop, I can just keep on racing towards the finish. And so if everybody's out, maybe we're playing singles and it goes, Travis plays 13 and Clay plays 15 and I play 17 and then Travis passes and then Clay passes and then I play a 0 and we're back. And it's just me. And I go 2, 3, 7, 9. And I just play my whole cards out like that. So you can keep on racing and see if you can finish it up. When you play with 4 players or more, you can start betting on each other. And so that means when you take this action, you'll put one of your 3 betting tokens on a player. And when they finish the race, when they lose all their cards, go out, then you'll score some points based on how many people they beat in the race. And so you can actually do that to the point where I've bet on Clay so much that I might come out ahead when he actually finishes the race. And then there'll be one promo card, promo tile, which is the discard a meld tile, and you have a crocodile driving a croc-like car. Wow. So that's a little sneak preview of Pit Stop Rally, again, from Taylor Reiner with art by the incomparable Alicia Giroux of Friendly Fishing.
That sounds great. Sounds
Man,
awesome.
Paul, I am
Really,
fired
really fun.
up. I mean, your catalog speaks to me so
Thank
much,
Oh yeah.
Good.
and the games I like. So
Yeah.
it's so cool to have you on.
And will I see you both at Gen Con or what?
No.
Unfortunately not.
No.
But
PAX, though.
we
PAX,
are
though.
planning on going to PAX.
All right. Well, we'll have all these at PAX and hopefully 1 to 3 more, because I just finished the rule book on a game called This or That Showdown, and
Okay.
listeners of Decision Space will know about that. It's a sort of green team wins style, be in the majority groupthink game, but with a single elimination bracket. That's really, really, really fun. And then also, I should say that from April Mitchell, and then also a game designed by Alex Hart, who is the board game sommelier. Might I suggest a game on social media? And this is an improv style storytelling game. It's a lot like Wilmot's Warehouse, but easier to get into. You come up with a setting like maybe the DMV or like a fortune teller's first reading, stuff like that. And then you flip over these cards with art on them and you say what they'll be. So like one of them might be round, so you say it's a crystal ball, and you flip over another one and it looks like a fork and you say it's a fork. And then you take those cards along with other ones, and one at a time you flip them out and start telling a story about what's happening.
Oh.
But the cards you've seen before, you play face down. And so I have to, like, when I say magic ball, try to remind you that this is the magic ball card, because the very last card will be one that we saw before, but didn't see this round. And we have to, right before we get it, all try to sketch a little picture of what it is and then flip it over. And we go, oh, it was the fork. And if anybody was able to remember that and sort of hit the punchline, then we get to keep going. We do one more round, and all of the cards we saw before are face down. And so we
Wow.
build the whole story out again, leading up to one big final punchline. And if you do that well, you get to write the name of your sketch on this sheet. And if you do it perfectly, you get to write the name of your improv troupe on the inside of the box.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, I remember playing this at PAX. You were I did get a preview of a lot of these games at PAX.
Yeah, I think all of them.
Yeah, pretty much all of them except for the pit stop game wasn't there. But yeah,
Right.
Paul rapid fired me and my wife through these. And I still remember something about a grandpa and maybe a pastry when we played that game.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it sticks with you when you get that. It's crazy.
That's right. And one of the lines in the rule book, it's explaining the goals, and then there's all these speech bubbles of people, and someone goes like, oh wait, there's memory in this, and the next bubble is like, yes, and we're gonna tell a story that's completely unforgettable. And that's really
Nice.
true. Like,
Yeah.
you remember the stories that you told, like, months later, because it's really fun and memorable.
That's awesome. I know that you guys have talked about this on Decision Space, but like the party games that really thrive are the ones that get you talking after the game is over.
Right.
About like, why did you think that a bowling pin was only 6 inches tall?
Right.
Or like, how did you figure out that was the fork that was face down? And
Yeah.
those decisions
Yeah.
that come after the game is over is what makes those games stand out and last, for
Totally.
generations,
Yeah. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Cool.
Paul, can I just give you my quick rundown of
Please.
some feedback?
Okay, I'm ready.
From the first wave,
Yeah.
my favorites were Trinket Trove,
Mm-hmm.
in line with the public there on that one. That one's
Yep.
so much fun. And then No Loose Ends, obviously.
For sure.
And after getting demoed all these and hearing you talk about them again, I think Pet Quartet and Wild Magic are going to be right up my alley
Yeah.
and get a ton of playtime. And I know size-wise is going to be party games go through phases for me, like, because I get
Sure.
sick of party games after so long.
Yep.
But all the people, all my family members, like, that's what they want to play. So
Mhm.
every so often I get, I went from Just One to So Clover,
Right.
and we've been playing Things and Rings. But I feel like size-wise, it's going to have a pretty substantial run as the
That's the
party
hope.
game of choice when I'm around.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
no,
Cool.
I'm really excited about this. And Trick to the Future is obviously going to be awesome too.
Yeah, it's
So,
gonna really rock for you.
yeah, man.
Yeah, I brought the whole GameHead suite to my Christmas vacation. We like rented a house with my family. And we played through all of them, and even those that don't play games loved games like No Loose Ends. Even like they had never really even played trick taking. They're able to get into it and understand the concept of like, I got to cover these up because I bet that I was gonna, so that one was a success. The Venture Capitalist was a success.
Venture Angels.
I'm sorry.
Yep, that's good.
And Trinket to Trove, of course. Everyone fell in love with the art and loves all the cute characters. And we're all talking about like, where's this one from? And man, I'm gonna have to buy that those promos eventually to add to the box for sure.
And then we just I can't remember the organization that we partnered with, but we just worked with an organization and sent them 250 copies of Foolish Fool to put in like these care boxes to send to troops to play.
Oh, so Operation Tabletop?
That I don't know, but it sounds like it could be.
Yeah.
Dang, that's awesome.
Yeah, we just had the guys from Operation Tabletop on the podcast, and they do something similar, kind of like giving back to veterans through board gaming.
Yeah.
And they were right up our alley. So yeah, thank you for supporting
of course
our service members.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk at all about lobby snacks?
Yeah, sure. I'd love to. I don't think I have my prototype. I don't know where it is. It might be at school, but my copy of Lobby Snacks, it has my name on it. It says, by Paul Solomon with Taylor Reiner, which is a way to sort of like give him a nod for doing so much with the game and put him on the cover of the box, even though he's not the designer. But when I had Taylor sign it, and this is not a finished copy, I had him write his signature over my name. So that's like a fun.
That's great.
So Lobby Snacks is my trick-taking game that I designed as I sort of like got into all these Taiki Shinsawa games, and my buddy Pete showed me all these games. And it is roughly speaking, it is a trick-taking version of like High Society or QE. It has that big twist where the core idea was win tricks, but don't win too much, because if you kind of win too many tricks, you bust and you don't get any points. But the way that actually works out is there are 3 suits. There are popcorn, candy, and soda. And you're going to see a movie. You want to get good snacks, but don't spend too much on the snacks or you won't be able to afford a ticket to the movie. So in the center of the table, there are some prize cards, which range in value from 1 to 5. And they show a suit on them. So it might be a 2-point soda. And that soda will be the trump for that one trick. And somebody plays a card, but this is may follow. So you can play any card you want all the time. So if I lead candy and the trump is soda, you can just play a soda, and that's fine. Mm-hmm. When you win a trick, you take the prize card and every other player's card, and you put it in your score pile. So all of those are points for you. And as you might imagine, smalls are like 1 point and mediums are 2 and larges are 3. But the card that you played, it goes in your spent pile face up. And so in other words, maybe I won with a large soda, but I spent $3 to get those cards that I won, right? So then we play another trick, flipping over more cards. So everybody's winning tricks, and every card that you win with is face up in front of you in your spent pile. At the end of the round, whoever spent the most winning tricks gets no points. They're the big spender. And so, again, like some of these other games, it's a lot of like looking at how much people have spent and are they going to want to win any more tricks? No. Can I afford to spend a lot to win this trick? Is it worth it? Because there's some cards that are negative value. Mm-hmm. And so if you play those, like an empty candy wrapper, a crumpled up soda cup, if you play those, it actually lowers the value of that trick for someone's score pile. But if you can win with a negative card, because maybe it's trump, that actually lowers your spent value. So it's really cool already on its own. But then if you bust, you spent so much that you didn't get points this round, but what you did get was like a VIP rewards card. And so now you get a card in your hand that you can play to win any trick with a $1 spend. So it's like a super trump. We know you will have to spend it, and that can be very good. Like some tables will find that so powerful that maybe players will try to win as many tricks as they can in the first round so that they can get it, thinking it will swing them back, of course.
Yeah.
But if Travis is going to win as many tricks as he can, then I can win as many tricks as I want and go just under his spent value and still rack up a lot of points, right?
Yeah.
So it's very interactive and dynamic. And I think it's still in crowdfunding with 25th Century Games on the
Tigris and Euphrates, right?
Tigris and Euphrates, yes, campaign. And, it'll fulfill when it fulfills here in a while.
That's
I already
awesome.
backed it, so I'm
Cool.
eagerly anticipating my copy.
And it's
of
only
Lobby's
$10
Max.
on the campaign, which is like a really good
Yeah,
price.
holy
could you not?
cow.
Yeah.
Sign me up.
Crazy.
Did you back Tigris and Euphrates, Travis?
I
or
have
just-
never played Tigris and Euphrates. Travis, did you get it?
I mean, I backed it. I backed it, yeah.
I got it behind me, the old one, but I can't say that I've played it to the extent that it deserves. I've only played it a couple times, but
Yeah, and it sounds like
people
they
speak
added
so
some,
highly.
They added
Put some
some
stuff
stuff to kind of streamline it a little bit,
Okay.
akin to Yellow and Yangtze a bit. So
Sure.
yeah, I'm curious to see. I mean, those productions are always gorgeous, but
Yep.
curious to get my hands on it and see all that they added in.
They crushed it on Raw. So
I know.
It's so good.
Unbelievable. That's my favorite game. And you've listened to the podcast, so you know, but I met Chad, the owner of 25th Century Games, because when Raw was crowdfunding, I was incredibly obnoxiously saying at every turn, like, you've got to do Priests of Ra, make the Priests of Ra. This was like the standalone sequel. You got to put those tiles in, and it never happened. But it may. And I did back the dice game, which they're going to
Nice.
have, Ra the dice game, they're going to
Yeah.
have at Gen Con. Not that I'll be able to pick it up. It's going to be shipped to me.
I
dang.
also like their import collections that they bring back. Those are really
Yeah.
cool.
They do a lot of those.
And so, like, some weird games that have been lost to time and,
Mhm.
reiterated on and have kind of fallen by the wayside that they bring back and make new, and that I played them a couple times and I send them to Clay or Jared. But
Yeah,
man, what a cool concept to just like kickstart old games.
totally.
I love it. Hey, one last tough question for you, Paul.
Mhm. Mhm.
In a world of all these great board game publishers, what what's your niche and what is the strategic vision of GameHead?
Yeah.
Where do you see yourself like really slotting in?
Well, for now, it's all these $20 games
Yeah.
that we say they're 5-5-20, which is like 5-minute setup, 5-minute teach, 20-minute play. They're like 20 to 40. And so that primarily is a really consistent thing for folks to understand about what we're making.
Yeah.
Party games, casual games, thinky games. But as the sort of person signing all the games, doing all the art direction, I want to make stuff that feels a little bit timeless, that we think could be on a shelf for a long time. That's not like, I don't know, this month's worker placement game, that has a hook that is kind of special. And so many things get made in the world and put out there and end up in landfills or wherever, that I want to make sure we make stuff that kind of deserves to be around and deserves to be on people's tables. And really, really charming games that a lot of folks can enjoy.
Well, I think you're nailing it in the first two waves here. So I just didn't know if you ever got like an itch to be like, maybe I'm going to publish this massive Euro just as a crazy, like publishing goal for GameHead
so
someday.
like, my start as a designer was like $40 plus larger games.
Yeah.
Like Honey Buzz, I think it might be $50 or more now, but that's a bigger table, medium weight Euro. And then I did Genotype, which is probably even heavier, bigger table, and Periodic is still more expensive and big. And then Santa's Workshop also is big. I developed that. And so we have had some ideas for $40 games, and the $40 games will be in this size box, double wide box. And so it'll still fit in our displays, and it'll still fit on your shelf alongside these other things. They fit too wide in a calyx, and so that'll be good. And I had one lined up that I thought I was going to do, and I decided not to publish it, but I have a Knizia game lined up to be our first $40 game that is in development now, and it will be called Squirrel Scouts.
Ooh,
Squirrel Scouts
excellent.
is it's a re-implementation of the Tower of Babel.
Okay.
So if you know that game at all,
excellent.
we're going to be there's 4 resource cards, and they are like, I think they're courage, creativity, kindness, and effort. And there are different projects that you can work on, like making cookies or building something or a charity thing over here or whatever. And so players have a hand of these cards and they choose a project to go work on. They're going to try to earn a merit badge by contributing to the cooking of brownies. And so the cooking of brownies requires like maybe 5 effort or something, right? And so I ask people if they want to help me. I say, does anybody want to contribute effort to help me make the brownies? And if they do, then I can take their cards and I don't have to spend my cards. So that's nice. And there's a little area majority there that they'll get some participation in, some credit essentially. And I'll get the merit badge, and that's good. But one of the key hooks here is that if they make an offer to me and they're generous and I say, no, thanks, I don't need you, they get brownie points anyway. And so you'll earn points for rejected offers, which means sometimes I want to offer a lot to you just so that you'll reject it. And I can score points and keep my cards. So there's an interesting catch there. The theme is obviously sort of, it's not like a Tigris and Euphrates type of theme here. Yeah. It's not 7 Wonders of the World theme. It's Squirrel Scouts. And I hope that won't lose people. But I think the gameplay, I think this actually can be a really awesome family game. It can be like a gateway game where people are, again, attracted by the art and the theme. Yeah. The box is going to kind of look like a Girl Scout cookie box. And because it's that shape. And then, but then they'll play it and it has sort of this Catan-esque trading of cards and really simple objectives, and you're trying to collect on these merit badges to get points along with other stuff.
Nice. That sounds incredible.
Consider me teased.
Yeah.
Squirrel Scouts. Yeah.
Yeah.
I once upon a time I went into a game store and they had Camp Pine Top, and it's the art hooked me immediately. I was like, it's a game about scouts at a summer camp.
Yeah.
And if just like
that art's
like
awesome.
that. Yeah. Themes and art and the combination of which can get somebody interested in a subject, like even if it's like order fulfillment and 7 Wonders builder game disguised as something else. Man, I'm so fired up. I'm all tongue tied. Oh my goodness. Should we go over the fence, Clayton?
Yeah, let's go over.
We could talk to you, Paul, all day about games, but I want to hear what else you've been doing outside of board gaming. Awesome.
Let's do it. Well, I mean, this is slightly board games, but I did like a board game camp with kids over the summer, and that was fun. Usually that's like actually the hardest that I work all year because I teach 50% and then I do full-time board games. And then in the summer, there are these 2 weeks where I do full-time board games and full-time camp. And so that's like too much. But this year it was more manageable. What else have I been doing? Well, it's like middle of the summer, right? So I'm about as far away from teaching as I can be. And I just had my first stress dream game about the school year where, and you get these every year. This was early for me, but I was at a different school. It was not really like a real school in the St. Louis area, but it was sort of inspired by some. The kids were not nice. This is always a key part of the stress dreams. Luckily, it was just a stress dream. I just saw The Odyssey, which I thought was really good. I thought it was awesome. I think I was more thrilled with it in the theater than on like when I left, but definitely go in the theater, go check it out. It is awesome. The Odyssey is just such a cool story, it's such a cool thing.
Yeah.
So that was awesome. And then the last thing, if you guys have never seen Nirvana, the band, the show, the movie, it is so good.
It is.
Sounds like you've seen it, Travis.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Clay, you have not seen it.
No, I have not seen it, but
Well,
I've got 2/3 of this podcast telling me I should.
Yeah, the best experience you can have with this movie is to know basically nothing about it, and which I think is what I knew, and then go in and watch the movie. And it is like, first of all, it is just really funny. These guys are really funny, and the writing is so clever. Like the things that they put together are so clever. And I guess, here's what I will tell you is that Nirvana, the band, is a band in a sketch. Okay. Like a YouTube sketch, Nirvana, the band. And then, and you've seen these guys before, by the way, they have some like memes that show up on things, but, and then they had like a TV show or something, or they had like a web show. So that was Nirvana, the band, the show in like 2009 or something, or like whatever, like way a long time ago. And now they have the movie, and this connects to those other things. That's basically all you need to know.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
And I think it's streaming now. I think it might have just come to Hulu. Let's get you and let's get the listeners the answer to that. Nirvana, the band, the show, the movie, now streaming on Hulu. Yes.
Perfect.
Wow.
Because I paid money, but you don't have to.
I don't have to, as long as I have Hulu, which right. I do. I am. I've signed up for everything, so
there you go.
That's going to be on the watch list.
How about you guys? Anything over the fence for you?
Clay, don't embarrass me in front of Paul. Did you finish your audiobook this week?
I did. I finished.
Yes, you did it. Seriously,
and my accountability last week worked because I was sitting there, and you know what, Paul, I hate to tell you this, but I was mowing, and I wanted to listen to Decision Space. I was like, I was listening to the deck episode. I was like, no, I got to tell Travis
do the homework.
I told him I'd finish this audiobook. First one I finished in a long time. I'm notorious at quitting audiobooks.
What's the book?
It is Shoe Dog.
Okay, I don't know.
It's by Phil Knight. He's the founder of Nike. And it's just kind of a memoir of his life and starting up Nike and everything he went through. So it was good. I'm glad I finished it. I have a sense of accomplishment. I have a sense of appreciation for Nike.
Yeah.
I think as I'm a brand loyalist, so now that I've listened to that, I'll just be a Nike guy from here on out. So
that's awesome.
You can expect to see that on all my stuff. But I do have one more exciting over the fence. I saw Hadestown there was a 5-day theatrical release of the original Broadway cast. I had never heard of this, but I think musicals are starting to become my thing. I've become, in the last couple of years, just my eyes were just like blown wide open. I saw Hamilton, and then it's just like, wow, people can do that with music and just like a stage. Yeah. It's amazing. But I saw my local high school did Hadestown a few months ago, and I was like, this was amazing. I could not believe, one, they were so talented, and two, it was an incredible story. And then just so happens they came out with this theatrical release of it. I think it's out for 5 days, maybe like it ends tomorrow or something. But I saw that last night, and my God, I am just blown away every time I watch a musical. And this one was so good. The songs are catchy. The story's great. It's about Orpheus and Eurydice. It's like a Greek myth. But yeah, told with like a New Orleans jazzy type music. So yeah, super good. Recommend seeing it. I'm sure it'll be out on streaming eventually, but if you can't make it to New York or wherever they do these things for real, try and catch the streaming of that, because it was amazing.
Before the show, we were talking about stuff that has like 100% on Rotten Tomatoes, and this was on the list. So I think this is the most recent thing with 100%. Yeah.
Dang. Yeah, it's really good.
Awesome.
What about you, Travis?
So I finished my long read for the first half of the year, which was Lonesome Dove by Larry McMurtry, which is that's like his seminal work. He has a bunch of other Westerns that are kind of in the same universe, but Lonesome Dove is his like monolith that stands alone as his like shining star of authorship. It's about a group of cowboys that take 3,000 cattle and they move them from Lonesome Dove, Texas, which is on the Mexico border, and they herd them up to Montana to start a ranch in the unsettled territory of Montana. And it's a long one. It's like 103 chapters, which makes me feel like a 8-year-old telling you how many chapters I read, but man, what a phenomenal book. I had started it multiple times before, never was able to push through. I think I got to like maybe when they started the drive, which is, I don't know, 10 chapters in or something. I finally did it. I pushed all the way through. And the second you, like, I was right there. You know the meme where the guy's like digging and he's about to get to the gems, but like stops and turns back? That was me, because the point that I stopped all those times was right when the turning point and the hook happens and things start happening to these characters. There is a mini series that was developed a long time ago by maybe MGM Studios. Came out in like 1989, starring Tommy Lee Jones. I would say that the mini series does not do it justice, because there's so much going on in these characters' lives, and to see it played out in like maybe 4 hours in a mini series just does not capture the gravity of some of these situations that these characters end up in. I really enjoyed it, and I'm already on to my next read, which is Winter Snow by Yukio Makashi. So I went west to east. So I did not mean to do that, but I did it. And Winter Snow is the first book in a tetralogy from Yukio Misaki.
You're doing your best.
Yukio, yeah. Yukio wrote a tetralogy called like The Sea of Fertility, and this is the first book in that series. So I don't know if I'll read the whole series, but I want to get through this one first and see if I like it. And then the other thing that I wanted to brief is that my daughter is almost 2 years old, and she woke up this morning and I said, "What do you want to do today?" And she said, "I want to bake a cake." And so when your 2-year-old daughter asks you to go bake a cake, you go out and you buy some cake mix and you bake a cake. So we baked a cake today, and it was great. And I want to say that there's never a bad time to just bake a birthday cake for nobody in particular. Just go bake yourself a birthday cake and eat it, because it's great.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Well, happy.
Hey, before we go here, guys, I want to give a quick shout out to Stack Up. That is the military charity that we worked with, combating veteran suicide through gaming. So shout out Stack Up and everybody over there that's going to get Foolish Fool.
Yeah, great.
Awesome.
Shout.
Yeah, thank you.
Awesome. Did we do it?
I think we did it.
Mission
Paul,
accomplished.
you want to give one last shout out to where people can find you at Gen Con?
Yeah, come to Gen Con. We're going to have a hanging banner so you can find us across the hall. GameHead booth 1629. In addition to our 11 titles, we will have pins. We have actually a Trinket Trove pin. We have the Axl Rose Pet Quartet pin. We have another elephant pin that I'm not sure exactly what it's from. We have all of our incredible playmats as well, Gen Con exclusives, lots of stuff. And we will have a giant size-wise to demo as well. It is 2 times as big. So you got 6-foot strings, and you can do stuff like, what's the size of a pig? What's the size of a mini fridge? And that's really fun. Hope to see you guys there. Thanks so much for having me on.
Yeah. For Operation Game Night, I have been Travis. He has been Clay. He's been the one and only Paul Solomon from GameHead Games. Paul, thank you for joining us. I am so fired up for GameHead Wave 2. And hopefully we can run into you at PAX Unplugged.
PAX, no question.
Yeah. All right. Let's get out of here. Thank you for listening. Like and subscribe, and we'll catch you next week.